Hi, it's C. You came back. You're interested in hearing more. Good for you. So let's talk about some of the specific things you're going to need to do if you want to continue pursuing life as an actor and acting as a career. First, number one thing, there's no getting around it, is you need training. Now, if you're in a major metropolitan area, that's probably a lot simpler. There's a lot of classes that are being offered. But if you're not, there's still probably some things that you can do. First of all, if there is a professional equity regional theater near you, they probably have an education arm that you can participate in. And those should be pretty good classes if it, as I said, is a professional theater. So that's a way to get training, even if you're not in a major metropolitan area. If you really live somewhere in a very small area where there's nothing like that nearby, there are some really good books that you can get, some that I would recommend to you, and you can certainly be in touch with me about which books those are. And there, of course, nowadays is so much free online training, including videos that I do, both on the Cie Peterson YouTube channel and ones that I'm now sharing and posting on the Clouds and a Waffle YouTube channel. So subscribe to other online acting coaches that you feel make sense to you, that you connect with. Don't just listen to everybody. Make sure that you are listening to somebody who is a professional, who knows what they're doing, and also that you personally connect with you. You appreciate their way of speaking and explaining things to you, and rather than leaving their videos foggy, you leave them clear-headed with some ideas and maybe new questions for the next time. You also, of course, can get an online acting coach, even no matter where you live nowadays. That's the lovely thing about the internet and how easy it is for all of us to communicate with each other across time and space. So, you must get training. It doesn't necessarily mean a degree program. It doesn't necessarily mean a certificate program, but you absolutely need to know what it is to become an actor and to be an actor, and how, like I said in last week's video, not to let the tail wag the dog. In addition to training, to having a process, a way of analyzing text and creating character, you need to perform. You need to engage in the product and the process. And the reason why is you just need to be comfortable on stage or in front of a camera or both. And so, unfortunately, this is one of those really strange careers where we start out by doing things for free. We're like happy we don't have to pay for the privilege of doing what we want to do, which is performing. But you do need to do that as well. So if you are leaning more towards theater, then that means doing community theater productions in your area. And yes, it requires a lot of time. And they're a mixed bag. Your director may just be somebody who was the first person to volunteer and not necessarily somebody who really knows what it is to be a director. And so you may not get as much expert leadership or training from that experience, but you still will go through the process of rehearsal and putting on a show and being in front of an audience, and that's important experience for you to have. If you're more inclined to do film or digital you can do on your own. Take out your cell phone and start making videos and do those. Do them with friends who are like-minded. And again, if you're in a major metropolitan area or there's any university or conservatory programs near you that offer degrees in filmmaking or digital video or anything like that, then there are students who are doing student films and they need actors to be in them. And most often they don't have the money to pay people. So get yourself experience performing, which you probably will have to do for free to start, but that's how you build the experience and also build a resume, which is number 3. You will absolutely have to have a resume, and if you don't have a lot to put on it, then maybe it's not quite time yet, but once you have even a few things, and that's training as well as some performance experience, then you need to build a resume. Make sure you follow proper format, and that's very easy to do. You can just do a search on actor resume and see the 3-column format that actors typically use. And you want to make sure that you have some things on it. Be a little creative. Don't lie, but be a little creative If you did something in high school and you're still in your 20s and you were in a play in high school, put it on there. It's something. So you will need to have a resume to send out to people when you start going for jobs and auditioning. And yes, that is the next thing. Number 4 is you will have to audition. And you want to audition as often as you can. I have acting students tell me all the time. I tell them about an audition. I ask them if they're going to do it, and they say, I'm not sure that I'm going to be available for all the performances. Nobody offered you the job yet. You don't have to worry about your conflict with the performances until you get offered the job. And you always have the right to say no once the job's been offered to you, because we as directors and casting directors know that if you're an actor, you're out there auditioning for other things, and there might be conflicts. And in between the time you audition for me and the time I offer you the role, you may have accepted a different one. It is never okay to accept a role and then leave. Don't do that. That's not good. That's a burnt bridge. But it's always all right to say, thank you so much, but I am no longer available for this role. I look forward to auditioning for you and perhaps working with you again in the future. So, audition no matter what, because you need the experience. You need to quell those nerves and that fear and really become expert at auditioning, and that will only happen by doing it over and over and over again. So audition even if you don't think you're right for the part, even if you don't think you can take the part, even if you're not interested in the part. If someone will allow you to audition, audition. And there are numerous ways to audition: monologues, cold reads, readings with sides that you've been given ahead of time, recorded submissions. And I've done videos on all of those things, so please look at those. And again, those are on both of my YouTube channels, the Cie Peterson one and the Clouds and a Waffle one. And I also want to stress, you need to have the right approach to auditioning. You need to understand what it is. People are going to tell you, you have to have a thick skin, and you have to be willing to accept rejection. I disagree with that. It's not about a thick skin, because it's not about rejection. You need to have the right way of thinking about auditions so that you can sustain yourself through all the auditions you will do in which you will not get booked, because that will happen for sure. And once you have done all of those things, you have some training, you have some performance experience, you have a resume, you've been auditioning, you probably want to then think about getting headshots. And you want your headshots done by a professional headshot photographer, not a portrait photographer. They're similar in that they're both like your face, but they're dissimilar in that headshots really are seeking specific and particular things, things that you shouldn't do, things that you should do, and those differ from the kinds of things that are absolutely fine and even wonderful and beautiful sometimes in a portrait photo. So don't run out and spend the money on headshots until you have those other things in place and you are ready to go into an audition situation, because you only have one chance to make that first impression, and you want to always make that a good one. It's a small community of people, and you'd be surprised how many of us know each other, even winding through the country. And then a little more down the road, of course, in this day and age, in this digital age, you are also probably going to want to put together a demo reel. But if you're watching this video on how to get started, you're not there yet. So remember that I can provide you with online coaching, or even a consultation session if you think you'd like some more personal assistance or some questions that you have answered. You can also always ask those questions here by commenting below. We could get a dialogue started, because if you have the question, probably someone else who's watching has the same question as well. So that is part 2 of this end of year vlog series on how to become an actor. We have one more Thursday left in the year, in the decade 2020. She's a comin'. So I promise next Thursday to cap this all off, either by sharing a video that I did a while ago that I think has value for you, or something that someone asks me about in the comment section or on my Instagram page before I record my final video. So I will see you again next Thursday, and in the meantime, I'll be looking for your comments both on Instagram and on this YouTube channel in the comments section below. One more week. See you then. Bye.